Malcolm, do you think that the original P-tape dossier will prove to be true? Well, we know what he's talking about. He's talking about Christopher Steele's
dossier,
right,
where he claims that there was a tape where prostitutes urinating on the hotel bed.
And Trump did address that with Comey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I said this on TV the other day,
but there was much more to the
accident.
tape than
right.
just the peeing.
Sure, but, you know, all the horrible things that were in the dossier, you know, alleging that he was going to get a $19 billion payoff from Rosneft, alleging that he was going to be spying on Russian oligarchs in the United States, all of these things, you know, you should not be calling the former director of the FBI and going, no, the P-tape's not true.
Right.
Right? I said this on Chris Hayes, cop to the hookers.
Right.
Right. But the rest of that dossier is bad.
Right, exactly. It's the least of it, right. And he's already sort of inoculated on that issue. We've already seen the Hollywood Access tape. If people elected him after that, the hookers is less. Okay. Let's see. Eddie, what is your favorite country to perform in? And in which, yeah, that's fascinating. You perform in 4 languages. What are the languages?
Spanish, German, French. My French is pretty good. My German's getting there. Spanish just started, but got an amazing range of countries I can go and play.
But comedy is so delicate. I mean, it's hard to do it in your own language. How can you do it in a language where it's not your first language?
It just works. I mean, I've got this joke in English. Caesar, about Julius Caesar. Caesar, did he ever think he would end up as a salad? And in French, it's exactly the same. Caesar, est-ce qu'il a jamais imaginé qu'un jour il finirait en salade? And they laugh at exactly the same place. And in German, the verb goes at the end of the sentence, so it's even weirder, but it still works. Caesar hat je gedacht, did he ever think dass einmal, that he one time als Salat enden würde, as salad end up would have? And they still, even though the verb is right at the back, they still get it and they still laugh. Everyone gets it. Humor is human and not national. References are the things that screw it up.
Wow.
Oh, good.
Alex, how would you define fake news?
It's a great question. First of all, by the way, I love Eddie, by the way. I used to watch your stand-up special with my dad, also a Breitbart editor, by the way.
Right, okay.
Dressing like a woman before was cool. That's cool. So,
well, I don't say I'm dressing like a woman. I just say these, you know, I'm just wearing clothes, you know. Like women, when they wear pants, they're not dressing like men anymore, so...
And lipstick and eyeliner and...
Yeah, I'm just going for equal rights for everyone.
I love the nails, too. So for fake news, it's a great question, and there's no real definition for it. I think that the left tried to make fake news. I thought the goal was going to be anything that's right of center, anything that people on the right want to talk about and not the left. And the right quickly reappropriated it to anything that was the least bit false that a establishment or left-wing outlet put out. So that's the parlor trick. That's what the right did, is they saw the word fake news. The left is going to use this to harm us, potentially use it to get us banned from social media or demoted from social media. And the right said, we have to take this term back for ourselves, and I think they did an effective job.
But that was a lie, because fake news was things that people knew when they were writing them were absolute bullshit. Yeah. They were putting it out there just to confuse people, because people read and they don't check things out, and then they share it. And we saw that, like the thing about Hillary Clinton running a child sex ring out of a pizza parlor. That's fake news.
Right.
That's different than what Trump's definition of fake news is just any news I don't like.
Right.
So I cannot quite...
Well, I sort of have a bone to pick with you. You're Breitbart, right? And you don't do fake news. That's what you're asserting here? Yeah, you know, there was this article about a 35-year counterterrorism expert who claimed that they wanted Trump Tower attacked that was written in Breitbart. I got 31 death threats from that, and that came from your website. So you're going to secure that right now? You're going to apologize to me?
Sure.
I'm sorry to say it. I spent decades hunting terrorists.
Yeah.
So that's fake as hell.
You don't have to share your bona fides with me. I respect you. I respect your service.
But your followers threaten my family, my children, my wife.
Are you really suggesting that Breitbart doesn't get death threats, that our lives aren't put in danger?
No, you can apologize to me now. All right, I'm not threatening you.
Show me the story, and if the story is as you describe it, I'll be happy to offer an apology.
I will come to your office to see that retraction.
Okay, I would love to see it. Send it to me. You're welcome.
And if that's the case, I think Megyn Kelly shouldn't interview him.
I got to tell you, Malcolm, by the way, was liked by both sides of the aisle until Trump became president, and he became a hysterical person like you are. And so this is a change.
I am sorry.
People on the right.
He's a hysterical.
Now he's demanding apologies for me for a story. Print out the story.
Well,
Let me see.
That isn't hysterical.
No.
That's just him being angry at 31 death threats.
Look, come on.
That's not hysterical.
This man is not hysterical.
This is pissed off.
He called one of the key members of Trump's administration Goebbels. It's anyone who's comparing
That's
people
not
to
true.
Trump. White
That's not
House,
true. I called them
little
baby Goebbels.
Baby Goebbels. Okay.
Fake news right
And by the way,
Can I just say...
He's got the nerve to say that I'm causing him death threats when he's saying people on my side of the aisle are Nazis.
Okay.
In the meantime, you've got crazy people shooting up a Republican baseball practice. Where is that
That is
coming
not
from?
exactly calling someone a Nazi, Alex. You
Oh,
know
it's
that.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, great.
No, because Goebbels was a propagandist. I think that's the message here.
For
Yes, for the Nazis. Yes, I understand.
well,
Okay.
Well, hang on. Let me say something. I'm going to just say something that Hitler said, if you lie big enough, people will believe it. And that's where it seems to go on the extremist side.
Very good, Eddie.
If you lie big enough. And that's it. You throw in a lie. And what you did, I've got to say, even though you like my stand-up, when he said, could you please... apologize for this. You moved into spinning it around and bringing in the shooting recently, and that got very muddy very quickly, which is a technique I feel that is used. Somebody says something, this is a problem, and they say, but there's other problems. I mean, we do it in the UK as well. They get up in Prime Minister's Question Time. Someone says, will you tell me about this? And say, well, what about that happened a year ago? And then it all gets muddied, and that is a legitimate...
the first thing you do in that situation is take away the heat and say, let me look into it. I understand that.
The
first thing.
You just jumped me.
No, and I would say that this exactly.
Okay.
I have people that jump me all the time online, and you know what I do? I have a troll of the week. Because they don't have many followers, and I find the one that I think is kind of most offensive. At the end of the week, I'm like, here, you were the most effective troll. In other words, yes, there are a lot of people out there spewing hatred. Calm the fuck down. I mean, Jesus.
You're literally telling me to calm the fuck down.
Yes, I am. I'm saying we're all only responsible for ourselves, and all we can do is take responsibility for the way we respond when people go nuts. So if you thought he was, then you calm it down. You don't say, I can bring it. I saw Senator Warren come out the other day and say, Trump hasn't begun to see nasty yet. That's not useful. I mean, come on. You'll agree with that, right? Let's not go there.
Right. Ted Nugent, come on the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
All about Ted Nugent coming on this show.
The
That's
second
going to be
you guys
the
stop
beginning.
calling us Nazis and fascists and racists, then yes.
Well,
then
the
all
only
of
thing is
that
the
will
last
stop.
time we saw this happen was the 1930s, and that's when they were out and doing it. And they did raise the game. And if you watch what happened in Germany, it was that the centre left, they were all fighting amongst each other, and it got very extreme.
And is it fair?
It got very violent.
But
and
you
then
can.
Second World War.
I mean, the Nazi thing did happen, and you can compare someone to Hitler without the part about killing all the Jews. For example, Donald Trump, I think, is very similar to where Hitler was, not leaving that part out, like in 1942, when Hitler was going crazy, and the high command, right, was like, oh my God, what are we going to do? Because he's telling us that we can't withdraw from Stalingrad. That seems to me where people are in the Republican Party are going to with Donald Trump now. Now, I'm not saying he's an anti-Semite. I'm not saying anything else about a comparison with Hitler. But I mean, this is a historical entity that I don't think can be completely off bounds. And it's not saying we're comparing him to Hitler in that way. Isn't that fair?
I don't think that that's fair at all, and I think that you can keep using these tactics, but Trump and the Rasmussen poll today, 50%, I don't think it's working for you guys, so please go ahead, keep comparing us to Nazis and Hitler, and we'll see how it goes for you.
I agree with you. I don't think he is Hitler. I think he's George III in 1783.
And by the way, the cherry picking, right? Like the Rasmussen, the fact that, you'll go and you'll take
that
one
was the
poll,
most accurate
which is
poll in
by
the last
far,
election.
which is
by far the most accurate.
the outlier. I mean, these people, you act as if the audience is stupid. And that's not useful, right? I mean, it will play well to your base. So again, if it's about money and clicks, I get it. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's really important to bring in, like, you put them all out. No, if you watch Trump, of course. I mean, the level when he's putting out tweets and he's talking about his polls, I mean, it's astonishing, the level of stupidity that he presumes of the people that are actually following him. And yes, it works, but it really damages our country.
Okay, how about last question? Sorry, I came out for overtime.
I'm having fun.
All right.
It's a great shirt, by the way.
Will Trump fire Robert Mueller?
Deathly silence on the board.
I think he might. I think he might. If
too.
he gets angry enough, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he's proven that he's not going to go by the rules that everyone else wants him to. The establishment, media, everyone else. I think if he feels like it, no one's going to stop him.
I think if he gets approval from his base, all right, if he starts reading Breitbart comment sections, Mueller's dead. It's gone.
All right, let's leave it there because we're not screaming. Thank you, everybody.